Hey everyone, Louis V here. Welcome back to Vinyl Latte. And I want to welcome you to today's review where we're going to dive into two remarkable albums that have been reissued as part of the Tone Poet Society subscription series. And we're going to be talking about Horace Parlan's, this is Up and Down, and we have with us also Dizzy Reece, this is Blues in Trinity. Now, both of these two albums represent sort of unique corners of the Blue Note catalog, showcasing the depth and diversity of jazz from two incredible artists. So let's jump into each album and explore why they're so deserving of this premium reissue treatment. Okay, first up we have Up and Down. This was originally released in 1961, and this album features Horace Parlan on piano, leading an incredible lineup that includes Booker Ervin on tenor saxophone. You also have Grant Green on guitar, George Tucker on bass, Al Harwood on drums. I mean, this quintet delivers an exceptional blend of soulful grooves and hard bop sensibilities. Horace Parlan's style here is uniquely shaped by his personal story. Now, I don't know if you know, but due to a bout of polio as a child, he developed a technique that relied more heavily on his left hand. Now, this physical limitation became a creative advantage for him, given his playing ability, this sort of rhythmic drive and harmonic depth that really set him apart from his peers. Now, Up and Down is a perfect snapshot of Parlan's artistry. The album opens up with The Book's Beat, a bluesy tune that highlights Booker Ervin's fiery tone. You also have tracks like Fugee that showcase the tight interplay between the band members, with Grant Green's guitar just adding this rich melodic layer to the song. I really love it. Meanwhile, Parlan's own compositions, like the title track, balance sophistication with accessibility, really making this a standout in his discography. Now let's turn to Blues in Trinity. This is the 1958 album from the Jamaican-born trumpeter Dizzy Reece. Now, Reece's story is also equally compelling, guys. He began his career in London, and that was before he caught the attention of Alfred Lion, who was Blue Note's founder and eventually brought him to New York. Now, Reece's style, if you're not familiar, is often described as lyrical yet commanding, sort of blending Caribbean influences with bebop energy. About this specific album, Blues in Trinity, it was recorded in London and features a stellar European rhythm section, including you got Tubby Hayes on tenor saxophone, Terry Shannon on piano, Art Taylor on drums. It's quite frankly one of the most fascinating aspects of this album is sort of the blend of American bebop and European jazz sensibilities. Tracks like Shepherd's Serenade, which is quite honestly my favorite, highlight Reece's inventive phrasing and ability to sort of navigate complex chord changes with ease. Now, this album holds a special place in Blue Note history as well. It marked one of the label's early ventures outside of the US, showcasing the global reach of jazz at the time. Reece's performance here demonstrates why he is often considered one of the most underrated trumpeter players of his era. Now, let me give you some of my thoughts of the packaging, and then we'll talk about the sound of each album, and then we'll wrap up with some final thoughts on the video. And there's something very specific I want to ask all of you that are watching this video that I'm going to get to in a moment. So let's dive in with Blues in Trinity. We'll start here. This is a fantastic record, just in general. The music here is very approachable, it's accessible. You don't have to be a deep jazz, have a PhD in jazz to be able to enjoy this. You could put this record on when you have company over or have a dinner party. It's going to sound really good. There is a lot of trumpeting work here, so it is going to be a little bit on the brighter side as far as jazz is concerned. But as long as you enjoy that and you have the right atmosphere for it, I think you could put this on as a party record. Now, with that being said, this also is a wonderful album for just like focused listening. The dynamics between the bass and the drums here with the trumpets and the saxophone is just wonderful. My sub was, really filling in the low end while my highs were just nailing the trumpets. Like the blend of the deep bass with the trumpets it was just amazing. It really is a wonderfully sounding record that is done absolutely well. The Blue Note, through this Tone Poet series has just been wonderful. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really got a bad record yet from Tone Poet. So this is not a surprise to me. What you do get is this, it comes with an outer sleeve. And it comes with a hype sticker. I'll read you the hype sticker. They're the same for both, but we'll go over it once. These are all originally cut from analog tapes. You have recorded by Rudy Van Gelder, supervised by Joe Harley, mastered by Kevin Gray, Coherent Audio. They're all pressed at Record Technology Inc., RTI, 180 gram vinyl. They sound great. Flat, clean, pulled them out. All the records, no factory dust, fingerprints, all that crap that sometimes you get nowadays with new records. They all wonderful. The packaging itself is great. The artwork here, from a vibrancy standpoint, is really stellar. This is a really nice kind of teal blue color. It almost reminds me of Tiffany blue. Really beautiful color. The only thing I would say is the text, and I think this just could be my eyes playing tricks on me. I feel like it's a little bit blurry here. It's not as sharp as this text, but that could just be because of the background. This picture is pixelated. It kind of blends in a little bit, so it just could be my eyes playing tricks on me. But otherwise, it's really nice tip-on jacket here. The back side, is matte. The front side is gloss, and it's a thick cardboard. When you open up the record or pull out the record, you have a nice little gift. You have a reel to reel. This is rewind here, telling you a little bit about the album itself and about the history of Dizzy. Starts out with him being in Kingston, Jamaica, talks about his nickname, where he comes from, and all that jazz. So this is a little nice extra. I haven't read this in its entirety yet, but I really like the fact that it's included with the album. Now, the record itself comes with a inner sleeve. That inner sleeve is a thick plastic, and it's a little bit tight. I'm not always a fan of these types of sleeves because I think when you're trying to stick them in a jacket that is also sort of thick, and then you have a record that's 180 gram and you're trying to stuff all this in, sometimes just can be annoying. The other thing is it's really tight. You see, you don't have a lot of clearance and wiggle room. So as you slide this in and out, it just, I don't know. It just takes extra time and care. These are sleeves that I'll definitely be replacing with something I could slide better in and out of the jacket. But overall, really well done. Great sounding record. If you're on the fence about picking it up because you don't know how it's going to sound or how the stereo mix is going to come off, I really highly recommend this. I think that from the packaging and the sound, this is a great value for your money. Okay, let's now talk about Horace Parlan's Up and Down. You have the same outer that came with the Dizzy, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I'll just dive into the overall presentation. So you do get a nice glossy cover, glossy on front and back this time, and it is a gatefold, which we'll get into in a moment. I will tell you visually, this is stunning. The colors here just pop off. Everything is crisp and clean. It really is a standout packaging. It even caught my attention that even the backside, the black against the white here, the black text against the white, just really pops off. It's almost three-dimensional how dark and crisp the text is against this like almost pure white background. It's really fantastic. The packaging here, I don't think you could ask for better packaging for this record. I mentioned before that it is a gatefold. It is a matte finish in inside, and it has wonderful high-res photos of the band, which I think is a wonderful touch. I really like them. They look amazing. On the inside, you do not have the reel-to-reel notes, which I think is a little bit of a bummer. I wish they would include that in all of the records. I think that if you're a subscriber of the Society, that would be a nice thing for them to include as just like a little one-pager about the record, about the album, about the master tapes. I know that they're doing a lot of this through email, and you get newsletters now that talk about the reels, how they source the original tapes, all the kind of behind the scenes. And that's lovely, but it doesn't live with the record. And one thing I will say is with this subscription series so far, there's nothing about the particular record you're getting that says it's coming from the subscription service. And it would be really nice that if they would include something with that, because there's nothing to say that you just didn't go to the store later and buy this record. right? So it'd be cool if they had something for people who are subscribing to be able to say that theirs is slightly unique or different. I think it will hold the value a little bit more, and plus I think it will show more value for the subscription service itself. That aside, you do get another wonderful, pressed record, nice and flat, clean as can be, same inner sleeve. We already talked about how I feel about that. The one thing I will say though, is yes, this record sounds phenomenal. And yes, the music on here is very approachable. Again, music that you can just enjoy. It's jazz that the whole family can listen to. It's nothing that is not approachable on this album. It's got some wonderful songs here. Really stellar mix with the stereo. Really happy the way this turned out. It would be an A+ record all the way around for me, except the first track on side B, which is The Other Part of Town, which is arguably the best song on the album for me. The first 20 seconds on the left channel comes off distorted to me. There's like a little bit of distortion. Every time you hear the instruments play, there's a little bit of distortion, residual distortion. And I don't know if that's just on the tapes and it's meant to be there, or there's something going on with the pressing itself. Now, my first thought was there had to be something going on with my turntable. So I spent the time, I checked all of the settings, I checked with the magnifying glass, my stylus, to make sure that there was no gunk or something built up that could be causing distortion. I played a couple other records that I know are very sensitive to tracking. They all came off phenomenal. There's something with this. Now, I will tell you, because how clean these were, I haven't dropped them in an ultrasonic cleaner yet. So maybe they just need to be ultrasonic clean. Maybe there's something deep in the grooves. But I'm having a feeling it's something with either the pressing or the master tapes. And I'm curious, if you picked up this album, if you have it and you played it, and you have a very high-end system, do you hear that distortion in the first 20 seconds after the instruments play on the left channel? I'm curious. I would really like to know. I did shoot an email over to Blue Note to see if they can offer any commentary around it, just to try to confirm if it's just what's in the pressing or what's not. I haven't heard back from them yet, just quite frankly, because it just hasn't been enough time. These albums came in yesterday. I listened to them last night. I'm recording this the very next morning, because what I know is that these records will, I think they GA February 7th of 2025 is when they become available for purchase for the public. I wanted to get ahead of it. I wanted you to know about these records. So if you're thinking about ordering them or pre-ordering them, you have some information about them going into it. So if I would take the time to ultrasonic clean them and do all the things I would normally do, it would be another 2 to 3 days before I would have a chance to do that and get them on the table. I wanted to get this out quick. Plus, they were so clean, like I mentioned. I didn't think it needed all of that to drop them on the table. With that said, and with that one sort of potential gotcha, maybe it's me, could be me, but with that potential gotcha on B1 on the Horace album, I think both of these albums exemplify the Tone Poet series and of course the Society's work to sort of bring these out and preserve history, really not just preserving history, but elevating it. The mixing, the packaging, everything you get here is wonderful. And I love what they're doing here. I love that they're priced fairly for what you're getting. They're using all of the right things from a mastering standpoint, a pressing plan. They're just giving them the care and attention they deserve. So for me, this is a recommended purchase. I do recommend both of these albums. If you're on the fence with them, I don't see why you should hesitate. There's nothing that I think is going to upset you with it. The packaging is stellar. The sound is really great. And so long that the Horace thing is me and it's me and it's not you kind of situation, and we can get that sorted out. So long as that, I don't see anything that I wouldn't say negative about either of these albums. Musically, fantastic. Audibly, fantastic. Packaging, fantastic. What more can you ask in a record these days? So if you have these albums, you've already given them a listen, or you're a fan of the Tone Poet reissues, I want to know your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below, especially if you've listened to the Horace album. I want to know if you get that distortion. You would really help me out a lot to isolate if it's just me or if there's something a little bit more wider going on here. And as always, like, subscribe, do all those things because it helps the channel. Plus, I'm going to have more timeless jazz classics that I'm going to be reviewing and talk about coming up. And if you like those sort of things, you're going to want to know when they come out. So while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and get myself another cup of joe so I can see you on the next video.